Hello everyone and welcome to Creative Chelsey. This is a live video on Facebook with my Creative Chelsey group, public group, and I will also be posting this on my YouTube channel, so you may be watching it as a replay there on my YouTube channel as well. So welcome for those of you who are joining live. Go ahead and leave a comment letting me know you're here. We're going to be making this fun alternative card today using the Hello Dear Friend all-inclusive kit from Stampin' Up. I am just trying to log into the video myself so that I can watch the comments come in. So just give me 1 second. There we go. Okay. So I'm in. Looks like we have a couple people who are joining us. Go ahead and tell me hello in the comments. So if you've caught any of the past videos, you'll know that we have been doing some fun alternative cards using the Hello Dear Friend kit. So this is the kit's kind of instruction booklet, and so you can see a close-up of the original card designs here. And they have a lot of fun elements in the kit, and so I thought it would be fun to make some alternatives with the extra pieces. So the kit, I think you can make 3 of each design with the kit. So we all made 1, and then we have those extra pieces. So we're creating more cards. And I can't remember exactly how many more cards I was able to come up with, but it was quite a bit. This is the fun stamp set that comes with the kit. Because it's all inclusive, it includes everything you need. You also get a little ink spot. This is Misty Moonlight. And you also receive adhesive. The only thing you don't have are the tools. So maybe a pair of scissors, bone folder, take a pick tool. And I'm actually going to go and grab all those things and bring them over in just a minute. All right, looks like we have Lorraine is here. Good morning, Lorraine. So glad to see you here with us this morning. We have made some other alternative cards. So this was one, I think this was our first one, and then this one was our second one. And you're welcome, if you're watching on YouTube as the replay, I will try to link the playlist for all the alternative cards up here in the top right corner. But if you're watching live with me or on Facebook, then those will have to be linked in the description box. And I think you can find that above the video. Okay? They'll also be linked in the description box in YouTube as well, but that's below the video. So those were the 2 fun alternatives that we did last time, or the last 2 weeks. And so we're going to be making this one today. Let's see, here are the original cards, right? Yeah, so these are the original cards. They're really cute. So you get this fun one, and we're going to be using that background here today. This was one of the originals. And then little tiny cards. And so those are really cute, and we'll be using those items to make full-size cards later as well. Okay, let me grab the rest of the supplies that I need for this card. And we'll just kind of walk you through what you're going to need. So you'll need the leaf pattern card base. You'll need a piece of thick basic white cardstock for your card base. So this is just been cut to 5.5 inches by 8.5 inches and scored at 4 1/4. So what we're going to do is we're going to be fussy cutting these leaves out, and then we'll be adding them onto our card base. But the reason we're fussy cutting them is because we want to place them on top of the elements and not below. If you don't love fussy cutting, then just don't worry about the card base, fold this in half and just add these items right over those leaves. So that's totally fine too if fussy cutting is not your thing. You'll need one of the skinny envelopes. You'll need the, what is this? More of like a rectangle shape, brass or copper, that's more copper, vellum piece. You'll need one of the smaller rectangle labels, and then 2 of the flowers, and I'm using the purple and the yellow flower today. So those are the things you'll need to create this card. And you'll also need a paper trimmer. So I'm going to go ahead and grab that. I see a couple more crafty friends on today. We have Hildenelle and Diana. Good morning to both of you. So happy you could join me. Okay, so I have my paper trimmer. So let's start by cutting our card base in half. Excuse me. And we're just going to cut right along that score line, and so it should be right at 4 1/4. And then we're going to fussy cut this. These images are pretty simple, so the fussy cutting doesn't take very long. I do want to point out that you do have some parts of the image that are not connected by stems. And so you do need to try and keep those connected. So just cut a little bit of that white in kind of a straight line so that you can connect those. So I'll show you what I mean when we come around here. So just give it, you know, you're just kind of bubble cutting around it. I don't worry about getting right up along that line of the image. So then, because there's no stem there and I want that piece to stay a part of this grouping, then I just cut right along that white edge, okay, so that it stays in place. And then you can just move it around. Remember, as you're fussy cutting, to move your paper and not your scissors. That's one thing that will help you be more precise with your cutting. And then just find a comfortable position. If you guys have any questions about this kit, you can go ahead and ask them while I'm doing this. It looks like we have Anne here. Good morning to you, Anne. So fun to see people from all over joining. Make sure to be careful with those little pieces, especially as you begin to have them all cut out. They'll kind of get stuck on your scissors. You just be careful that you don't cut them off or rip them or anything. Okay, so there's that first one. Just lay that down. Another fun thing about cutting these out is that you don't have to use all of them on your alternative card. You can create 2 cards if you wanted using these as well. And I'll kind of give you an idea about that when we lay them onto our card base. So just remember here to keep them connected. So just move right along that white edge. And then do the same here. Just be careful not to rip it because it's kind of delicate at this point. Okay, so there's grouping number 2. We'll do the next big one. So what fun things are you guys creating recently? Are you mostly making cards? What are you enjoying making? Are there some fun new products that you're loving using? There's a lot of fun things that maybe you got from Celebration that you're enjoying. I made some cards with the Oso Ombre the other day, and I think that paper is just really fun to work with. Oh, and I used the Touch of Ink stamp set as well. That's a really fun one. You guys are quiet today. Maybe I'm boring you with my cutting. Oh, Anne says that paper is very pretty. So I think she's talking about the Oso Ombre because that paper is pretty. Yes, the Oso Ombre is beautiful paper. And I love how the colors work really well together. So I used a touch of ink and the Oso Ombre along with all the coordinating colors to make a fun card. So it was like one of my team member cards. So I was making them for their sales recognition rewards. So there's group number 3. Diana is making cards and a framed 9x9 for Valentine's. Oh, Diana, that sounds so pretty. I would love to see it. Please share. You can either post it to this Facebook group if you want, or you can email it to me, or just even tag me if you post it somewhere. That would be, it's always fun to see what you guys come up with. I know I share a lot in this group of just my projects, but maybe we need to create an album for everybody to kind of share along so we can all be inspired by each other. Okay, and then we just got one more left. Hi, Sherry. So fun to see you on here this morning. Hope your Saturday is going well. We're just fussy cutting out this card base, and then we're going to layer them over some other elements to make some fun cards today. So we're using the Hello Dear Friend card kit. So as you're fussy cutting, you'll notice that sometimes you do like a big space and sometimes it gets smaller. And for me, that's just what happens because I can't keep it even all the way around. I'm okay with a little bit of ebb and flow around my images. Okay. So you can hold on to this and just use it for scrap paper. So here's our card that we're making. So let's go ahead. Our next thing we're going to do is cut one of the mini envelopes down. We're going to open it up and use that fun pattern that's on the inside. Anne says she enjoys watching people fussy cut. She finds it very relaxing. That's good. I always worry that I'm boring people as I'm fussy cutting. Okay, so I just trimmed off the bottom, and I just trimmed this tiniest bit off these edges just to remove that fold so that I can open it up. And then from there I'll trim closer to the pattern, just so that I'm not cutting off too much of the pattern, because I want to keep as much of that as I can. Okay, so I'm just kind of eyeballing it. It looks like I did trim it right here on the score line. So this is the score line that would fold the flap over. And so I'm just going to line that up on my card or my paper trimmer and trim that off. And then come around, trim again, and then one last time here. Okay. Okay, so now I've got my fun striped pattern paper. It's always fun to get to find patterns in unique places like inside the envelopes. So I've got my basic white card base here. It's thick. I like the thick cardstock for my card bases. And we're going to start by adding our stripes, and you can add it right in the middle if you like. I'm going to bring it down just slightly, and you can use your glue dots. I'm going to just use my Stampin' Seal Plus just to make it a little faster. I'm going to add just a little bit in the corners. The Stampin' Seal Plus is pretty strong, so at times if you're using like a lightweight paper, it can rip that paper just a little bit, so just be careful with it. And so maybe what, an inch off the bottom? Maybe, yeah, let's go an inch. Well then, actually that moves up. Let's do 3/4 of an inch from the bottom of the card base. So something like that. Right along, just on the left side. Now if you did not trim your leaves out, then you can just put this right over the card base with those leaves behind it, and that would be fine. And then we did talk about how you could make a couple different cards using these pieces. So just arrange them how you would like. So maybe just a couple, that looks like that belongs in the corner. So you could even just do these two and then create your, add the flower and then put these two on another card, or you can add them all together. So if you add them together, I'm kind of just arranging them just as if they were on the other card. So in kind of those same places. This one goes here, and this one goes up here. Okay, so similar places, and you're going to use, you can use glue dots or liquid glue. I'm going to use some liquid glue. The reason I'm choosing liquid glue is because I have a little more control over it, and I can put a little bit in these smaller spaces. And I can kind of wiggle it around too. So let's do this one right about here. So then kind of wiggle it, get that glue to stick. Sometimes it just takes a minute to stick it, for it to get sticky. And then you can just place it where you want it. Okay, so there's the first one. Let's do this one next. A little bit of glue. I'm going to just spread that out a little bit. The only problem with the liquid glue is when you get it on your fingers, right? And then this one goes along the bottom with it. These would be fun to even add like underneath the greeting. So I kind of, like as I'm working with it, I'm getting more ideas on how I could use that. So like if you didn't use all of them on your card, let's just use these three. Maybe we'll call that good. And then I can show you some fun things to do with those other ones. Okay, so we'll just kind of focus down here on the right side of the card. That's kind of cute. And then you're gonna place this vellum piece right here in the middle. I like to add the vellum, I like to add adhesive to the back of the vellum after I've added some of these other elements, because then I know where to hide the adhesive. So with the dimensionals, you can just place them on the back of your flowers. Sherry says, so pretty. I'm so glad you like it. So I'm just going to kind of temporarily hold that in place and then add some flowers onto this vellum piece. And now I know I can place some adhesive here. And I should probably also stamp my greeting and add that as well. So let's do that next. So in your kit, you also receive a clear block. And so you can place whatever greeting you'd like here on your clear block. And then use your Stampin' spot to ink it up. And then you can place that right in the center of your label. Nice even pressure. And then let's add this with a dimensional or two. Hi, Amy. So glad you like the card. And then just kind of stick that right over the flowers just slightly and nice and even on that. And then you could use glue dots. I think this will just be easier with a little bit of liquid glue here. I'm placing them behind the dimensionals. And then I'm just gonna add that right to my card. Okay, so there's a quick little version. So what I did is I removed these other elements, and then I could make a second card using those. I could even just make it look very similar to this first card by adding those on the side, or we could place them up on the top and then have this be open. It would even be fun to add to, like, let's see, let me find a card. Well, like this one, it would be fun, you know, you could place some leaves underneath your greeting like that as well. So some really fun options that you can do with these little fussy cut leaves. So here we could place those underneath here if we wanted, just to give it some more interest and depth. So fun things that you can do with just some other ideas. And then the very last thing is I did use some champagne rhinestones. And these are not part of the kit. And so the two things that you need to, well, you don't really need them, but if you're going to make my alternative projects, would be a packet of thick basic white cardstock for the card bases, and then a pack of champagne rhinestones. I think that just adding that little extra bit of bling really step up these cards. So I'm going to go ahead and add with my Take a Pick tool couple of these on my card. So let's kind of do some over on this side in this open area. And then we'll do a couple small ones down here, just kind of on the opposite side. Okay. So that card is all done, and I like that there's those different versions, and it gives you some fun options on how to use those leaves. Well, I hope you guys enjoy your Saturday, and thanks so much for joining me to make this card. Let me know if you have any questions on the Hello Dear Friend kit and how you can get your own so that you can create these fun cards along with me. I will make sure to leave all the information on the ordering information for this kit, as well as some of the other products that I used, so that if you're interested in ordering that, you can do so. Tomorrow is the last day of celebration with Stampin' Up! And so if you're interested in getting some of those free products, then you're going to want to order as soon as possible. And the ordering levels are $50 is the first level and $100 is the second. And so by ordering the kit, which is about $35, I think, and then a couple other tools to go along with it, you'll be hitting that first $50 level pretty easily. Diana says, can you show us next week's card? Sure, I can do that. Let's see, which one do I want to do next week? Let's do this one next week. So here is next week's card. So just really fun. We're going to be using that copper vellum background just to give some really fun geometric look. And then we've got that small piece, that purple stripes come from the front of this small card here. And then using a couple of those flowers and leaves to just add more interest. So we'll do this one next week. Great, thanks for reminding me about that, Diana. All right, you guys. I hope you have a great week, a wonderful Saturday, and we'll see you next time. Thanks so much for joining me. Bye-bye.